Can you beat Spyro the Dragon 2 without breaking any chests in the game? Welcome back to my second Spyro video, where I try to beat the game without breaking any chests. In Spyro 2, there is a variety of chests. There are regular chests, metal chests, target chests, extra life jars, some float, some swim, some are big, some explode, and the mystery pot. So, can I beat the game without breaking any of them? Now Spyro 2 mixes things up a little bit. First of all, enemies no longer drop gems. Secondly, you can spend gems to learn new abilities, access levels, or open shortcuts. So, the gem counter is going to go up and down throughout the run. So, here are the rules for this run. First of all, never break a single chest. If I accidentally do, I'm going to quit the game and try again. Secondly, collect as much treasure and as many orbs as I possibly can. Here's a few disclaimers for this run. First of all, there's no way to keep track of chests in the game, so to keep me accountable, a full playthrough of my game is available in the description. And finally, this is a blind run. I've not watched anyone else attempt this beforehand, so if someone else has done this, please support their content as well. With that all said, let's begin. Welcome to Glimmer. I started hunting lizards and collecting gems. Up ahead was the lovely merchant Moneybags, who wanted 100 gems to lower the bridge. I kept hunting. After some exploring, I'd reached my 100 gem goal. I paid up,
Thank you, Mr. Dragon.
activated the bridge, and my hard-earned gems were stripped away. I got my first talisman for making it through the level, and I'd need a total of 6 to get through the summer forest. I lit all the lanterns, and I got my first orb. I was hired as a mercenary to hunt down some of the red boys, and after eradicating the population, I got another orb in my pocket. I checked for any missing gems, and then it was time to leave Glimmer. I was introduced to Alora.
Oh, hello. My name is Alora.
Hi, I'm Spyro.
And I started looting the summer forest. There were lots of gems lying around. And good old Moneybags was back, but this time he wanted 500 gems to teach me how to swim. Will I be able to find 500 gems lying on the floor? I practiced some gliding with Hunter
Pretty good athlete.
and got another orb. And it was time to enter Idle Springs. There was a nice stack of gems lying on the grass. I freed a hostage, and the workers opened the door. I got my second talisman, and found a bounty of gems on the rooftops. I found some more gems on the floor, and I used the supercharge to save the dancers. Another orb, boys. I returned home with 340 gems in my wallet. Up next was Colossus. Some cheeky gems were hidden behind me. I was having flashbacks to the Crash Bandicoot boulder levels. I butted heads with some goats, and I used the spring jump to get high. I started cleansing the statues, and found a bounty of treasure on the ice. I got distracted, and started playing ice hockey. And I won an orb. And then I was a bit cheeky, and I won another one. After some more skating, I'd reached my 500 gem goal. I watched a Yeti get crushed to death, and I accepted a bribe to not tell anyone about it. After cleansing all the statues, I got another orb. And I returned home with 543 gems in my pocket. After some expensive swimming lessons,
Great. Okay.
I started collecting underwater treasure. My swimming led me to another orb, and then it led me through the castle. I did some clever gliding, and it was time to explore Sunny Beach. It was my job to guide the baby turtles to safety. I bullied the big boy into opening the gate, and I started my assault on the invading enemies. I collected more gems, but I came across a ladder that I couldn't climb up yet, so a return trip would be needed. After safely delivering the turtles, I got another talisman for my collection. Now, one of the tasks was to free some trapped turtles, but they were inside boxes. Now, looking at these boxes, they feel very much like a chest to me. Is a box with a turtle inside a chest? I wasn't sure, so I played it safe and I'm going to skip this orb for now. I backtracked and found some missing gems. And I left Sunny Beach with 306 gems in my pocket. Next up was Hurricos. I opened some doors, slowed down the fans, crossed some platforms, and got an orb for my acrobatics. I jumped from fan to fan, I made it to the factory, shut it down, and got another orb. After grinding the enemies to a halt, I was given a Medal of Honor. After looking around, I found some purple boys who needed to be punished. I hunted them all down and restored the power. I got another orb, and I returned home with a cool 446 gems. It was time for our first speedway. I collected the rings, broke the arches, sunk the boats, and collided with the cars. 400 gems added to my bank account. I bribed moneybags to open the door,
Yes.
and it was time to explore Aquaria Towers. The locals were experiencing a drought,
With the shock sticks have drained all our water.
so I opened the floodgates. Moneybags was back at it again, trying to scam me to buy something I don't need. I said no and decided to go for a swim. It didn't go well. I paid up and I swam past safely. After completely flooding the world, I got the magic conch and I started to explore the surface. I found some gems chilling on the roof and did some manta ray riding for 2 cheeky orbs. I met King Flippy and we had a kidnapping situation to attend to. I rescued the seahorses one at a time, and after saving them all, another orb was given. I used the Super Flame power-up, and I got my revenge on the sharks. I collected any treasure I could see, and it was time to go home. With a whole bunch of talismans, I could now fight the first boss. His attacks were telegraphed, and after multiple hits, Crush was crushed.
No, crush!
With the first boss down, we're now heading to the Autumn Plains. I started collecting treasure, and I paid Moneybags 500 gems to teach me how to climb. But this greedy teleporting bear was still trying to shank me for more money. Everywhere I went, this omnipresent Ursine was trying to steal me gems. I kept exploring, I broke a wall, and found some treasure on the roof. I made a scary glide, I found an orb, and after destroying some more walls, another orb was found. Captain Greed insulted me for being poor,
You weren't flat broke.
while Elora faded out of existence. Now that I could climb, I wanted to go back and tidy up some levels from the Summer Forest. I returned to Glimmer, climbed the ladder, and lit the lanterns. I went back to Idle Springs. I did some swimming underwater for gems. I made the tiles yellow. I fed a hungry fellow, entered the secret code, and got paid what I was owed. Sunny Beach still had some orbs to cough up though, so I went back for a visit. I climbed the ladder, and I stopped the turtles from becoming soup. I noticed that I had missed an orb on the speedway, So, after some exploring, I found a place to race. I flew through some rings, and Ocean Speedway was now complete. Back in the forest, I climbed a ladder and got another missing orb. So apart from breaking boxes to save turtles, Summer Forest was complete without a broken chest in sight. 1,868 gems were found and 23 orbs were collected. Time to go back to the Autumn Plains. It was time to chill out at Crystal Glacier. I started melting the icy boys, and I paid money bags to build the bridge. I collected some gems, and I flamed everything inside. I witnessed an act of terrorism, and then got another talisman. I fed a hungry cat, and got another orb. I went on a quest to eradicate all the green boys, and the glacier was safe. 243 gems. It was time to visit Skelos Badlands. I received a warm welcome. I hunted down some bony boys, and I practiced my sniping skills. There were some decent gems to be found. I became invincible and hunted down enemies in the caves. I stopped a dinosaur invasion. After collecting all the bones, I received an orb and watched some Fortnite dancing. I got a dog treat and then left the level with 434 gems. It was time to go to war at Breeze Harbour. I was hired as a mercenary to kill all the landlubbers. I lit the fires,
The fire rises.
and melted some slugs. I used the catapult, cleared out the boat, and got another talisman. The spring power-up was active, and I went for a drive. After collecting all the gears, my driving was rewarded. I used the cannon to destroy the spiky boys, but there was still one spiky boy I could not shoot. He couldn't be hurt using normal attacks, and a chest was blocking the way. I tried to fire over the chest, but disaster struck. I quit out and restarted the level. I tried to be more cautious, but the chest kept getting hit. I decided to leave this orb for now. I restarted the level and I returned home. I gave my hard-earned gems to moneybags, and the portal to Zephyr opened. I was hired to kill the birds I just helped in Breeze Harbour. So, are these baby birds technically child soldiers? This game is dark. I fought against the American Air Force and opened the door. Now, while I was trying to hunt birds, this flying chest was destroyed by a missile from the bird. Now, I didn't notice this happen until I was editing this video, but when I was playing, I picked up the gems assuming I just missed them. Now, technically, the bird destroyed the chest, not me, but I can't change what happened, so I will take 12 gems off our total gem counter at the very end. I went back to killing my old allies. I met a drug dealer,
Spyro, my boy, I've got a magic beam.
and I started growing some suspicious plants. After some more death, I got paid and was given more seeds to deliver. I met Juliet
Romeo.
and I got an orb.
If he wasn't so short, we'd get married.
This game is sadly accurate. Now, Bo Peep had lost some cows,
And I've lost my cowlicks.
and after some gentle persuasion, I was compensated. I used the super flame to make the cows fly, and then I got paid again. I blew up the fortress, got another talisman, and it was time to return home. Elora had returned to the mortal plane,
Well done, Spyro.
and she opened a whirlwind. Metro Speedway was next. I had a few failed attempts, but eventually I got everything in one go, and I got my 400 gems. I found the mayor,
We've been having a crime problem here in Metro Speedway, but
and I was hired to collect some stolen treasure. After catching all the bags, I got another orb, and returned home with 741 gems. Next up was Scorch. I attacked the guards, I helped Hunter collect monkeys, I opened the drawbridge, and I have never been so tempted to flame something in my life. I cleared out the last of the baddies, and I received another talisman. The kids needed help playing capture the flag, so I sniped all the flag keepers, I avoided the bombs, collected the flags, and got an orb as a reward. Time to go home, 921 gems. Next up was Fracture Hills. I made a new friend
Well, hello there, Mr. Dragon.
and freed the first fawn. Watching the Stony boys die made me feel sad. While exploring, I nearly had a heart attack. I collected more loot and shut my eyes as the Stony boys waved goodbye. The power of music freed the temple. And I found a lot of gems on the rocks. It was time to save Hunter.
Just stand still, he says. I'll turn your boots to gold, he says.
I hate escort missions. But the alchemist freed Hunter. And I got my orb. It was time to use the supercharge, but disaster struck again. I quit out, restarted the level, I freed all the fawns, and collected the talisman. Now, let's try this supercharge again. But eventually, I was able to do this.
Oh, thank goodness you broke that door down for me.
I got a well-earned orb, but I wanted to be sure. And yep, no chests were harmed. And I could finally return home with 1,106 gems. Next up was Magma Cone. I was invited to a party.
Hello, Spyro. I suppose you're here for the party?
Oh, it's that type of party. What kind of sick party is this? I climbed the cone, paid the bear,
pleasure doing business with you.
I used the lift, and I stopped the volcano from erupting. I got another talisman. After killing all the party guests, I got another orb. I found some more gems, and eventually found Hunter inside the ice cave. I collected some popcorn, and stole another win from Hunter. And it was time to go home. I paid money bags to open the door, and now I could visit Shady Oasis. I gave the hippo some performance enhancing berries, and his roid rage cleared a path. I fought the locals, and after some more roid rage, I got another talisman. Some thieves were on the loose, they were fast, and they used some dodgy tactics. But I outsmarted them one at a time. And got another orb. It was time to go home. Back at the plains, Moneybags opened up the speedway. I crushed the skis, smashed the gates, cooked the serpents, and danced with the figure skaters. 400 more gems, boys. I eventually found Hunter.
Good job, Spyro.
And after some parasailing, got another orb. 1,162 gems. It was time to fight Gulp. I used barrels to damage his health, but his homing lasers were too hard to avoid. After a long battle, I blew him up, and Gulp was no more. Ripto took some hostages,
Don't even try it, book boy.
and made himself a dictator. It's time for Winter Tundra. I collected some more gems, and I paid Moneybags to open the speedway.
Chosen wisely.
It was time to make my final payment to Moneybags. I paid 1,000 gems, and I learnt how to head bash.
Very simple, really.
To open the door, I head bashed the rock, but inside was a gem. Since gems are only found on the ground or in chests, is this rock a type of chest? I didn't feel right about destroying the rock, so I quit out before the game saved. When I came back, I still had my head bash move, but the rock was alive and the gem was still inside. I head bashed the giant rock, and I got an orb. And it was time to visit Mystic Marsh. I stole some donations from the wishing well. I cleared out the rooftops. And I got an orb for reaching the top of the fountain. After a very long and convoluted trading quest, I got an orb. It was time to chase down some thieves. The first thief was dangerously close to some fireworks, but I was able to outrun him. The second thief was an absolute nightmare to catch. He was just too fast. It took a long time, but I managed to stop him. And then I got his friends too. And another orb was in the bag. I returned home with 262 gems. Next up was Cloud Temples. I fried some enemies. I charged some of the goat boys. And got an orb for reaching the end. I stalked a man. And I got paid. It was time to ring some bells. Things started off well, and I rang the first bell, but I accidentally shot a chest. So, I quit out and restarted the level. After ringing all the bells, I got another orb, and I returned home with 373 gems. Canyon Speedway was next. I got all the rings, I fried all the goats, and I got the bikes and the birds in one go. I found Hunter
Alright, Spyro. Are you ready to try out my plane?
and began shooting down the balloons. Ka-ching. I returned home with 773 gems. Now that I know how to head bash, let's go back and tidy up some levels. I went back to Fracture Hills. I freed Hunter again, and he started shooting the Stony Boys. I used my head bash to finish them off, and I got another orb. I went back to Shady Oasis, and some hippos needed help.
My 8 brothers have been trapped in rock and will sink if you can't break them free.
After freeing them all, another orb was given. So apart from that one missing orb in Breeze Harbour, Autumn Plains was now complete. So, how do I get past this rock blocking the door? Well, I had a plan. I got rid of sparks and I broke the rock. I carefully avoided any gems and I entered Robotica Farms. And once I arrived, I quit out. Now because I didn't pick up the gem from the rock had respawned back to normal and relocked the door. But I was now on the other side. I had essentially skipped the door without the rock being permanently destroyed. I found another orb, and I collected some treasure. After more exploring, another orb was found, and I teleported straight back to Robotica Farms, skipping the door. Let's help the farmers. I shot down a lot of bugs, and I head bashed the beetle boys. I turned on the bug zapper, and got another orb. There was another supercharged section, and I broke another chest. After quitting out and retrying, I could see that there were some sneaky chests hidden along the path. I tried again, but I broke another one. Eventually, I made it past the first few chests. I broke the door and I got some treasure that was inside. And with another attempt, I was able to avoid the chests, clear the path, and I got the orb. I did another quick double check, and all the chests were intact. I hunted some bugs for the farmer, and got the last orb for this level. And I returned home with 1,048 gems. The final level was Metropolis. I collected some big gems, I stopped a terrorist, and got an orb as a reward. I reached the end of the farms, and they gave me another orb. Some alien sheep invaded, but I shot them all down and got 2 orbs, and then returned home. It was time to fight Ripto. I used the orbs I collected to take down his health. And then phase 2 started. I used the orbs to destroy Metal Gulp. And then it was time for the final phase. I sniped Ripto out of the sky, and Avalar was safe. I got a kiss, and Hunter beat up Moneybags, giving me all my gems back. I could finally visit Dragon Shores. But sadly, Giles wouldn't let me in. I was still too poor.
Sorry, but I can't let you into our little park.
I started thinking, since I snuck past the rock blocking the door, would the same strategy work in Breeze Harbour? I went back, and I used the cannon to blow up the chest, and then I sniped the spiky boy hiding behind. I used the other spiky boy to get rid of sparks, and then I carefully avoided all the treasure. After killing all the other spiky boys, I got that missing orb. I teleported to Zephyr, and then I teleported back. And the chest was still there. I was able to get that missing orb without breaking any chests. But something really weird happened to my gem counter. By simply visiting Zephyr, my gem count increased by 10 gems. Watch closely. 5,305 gems leaving Breeze Harbour. I skipped the cutscene, and 10 extra gems were added to Zephyr's gem count. I'm not going to include these 10 gems on the final gem count. If you have any idea why this happened, please let me know. Weirdness aside, I had 63 orbs and there was only 1 to go. I visited Sunny Beach one last time. Now, if you think the turtle boxes should count as a chest, then you can totally ignore this orb. But I'm going to free those turtles. I found 1 blue gem I missed sitting on the ground. And after freeing the last of the turtles, I had the final orb. Spyro 2 was complete, and no chests were broken by my hands. Now there is a chance I missed some gems somewhere, but overall here are my final results. Ignoring the extra gems from Zephyr, 5,298 gems were collected in total. Depending on the turtle boxes, either 63 or 64 orbs can be collected. and I had an 85% total game completion. So, can you beat Spyro 2 without breaking chests? Yes. Yes you can. There are more than enough gems on the ground and in speedways to buy everything from moneybags. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the journey. I hope to see you soon in another video. God bless.